Now we come to the portion of the service before we get into the study of God's Word, and we do a news and prophecy update as we do each week. This is prophecy update number 37. Some interesting news items that occurred this last week. Hezbollah Leader expects another war with Israel soon. So he said this in a statement on Monday between his organization, which is the terrorist group of Hezbollah, which is in Lebanon, and Israel is going to take place in the near future. So during this period of time where there haven't been launching rockets in, and even within the Gaza and the PLO down in that area, in the past, last year, we mentioned how many rockets they were launching into Israel and how the Iron Dome was protecting the people. Well, what we're seeing now is during this time of peace is they're building up their arsenal so they can just continue to try to annihilate Israel. But the leader of the Hezbollah organization says the nations in the region must prepare to make sacrifices for any future conflict with Israel. So they're trying to gather their sources so that they can eventually try to wipe Israel off the face of the map, which has been their agenda from day one. Another interesting news item, which takes, and these two kind of somewhat linked, but it's not. The gay group demanded Christian churches, to be shut down for opposing same-sex marriages. So the LGBT activists, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transvestite, transsexual, have gone so far in their passage of the Indiana's Religious Freedom Act and Restoration Act, which is a big thing that took place a couple weeks ago. And just before Easter, the gay group was attacking churches who dare to believe that homosexuality is wrong because the Bible tells it. So they're going so far to say this. And so the largest gay group of one of the western states demanded that the churches who followed the Bible to be shut down by the government. So it's trying to get more traction. We're starting to see more of the attacks against Christianity worldwide. But one of the chairmen of the Wyoming Equality posted a stunning statement on Facebook. And when Christians reacted with outrage, he tried to delete the post, but there's people that did a snapshot of his screen before deleting it, and here's what his post was. Christians who do not support the same-sex marriage should lose their tax-exempt status. Churches that lobby to have freedoms and rights taken away from anyone should absolutely have their 501c3 status revoked. That is the nonprofit organization, the tax exemption. So even if you do eliminate the tax exempt from churches are still going to exist. The churches don't exist because of a non-tax exempt item. So you're starting to see the activists going full force and trying to attack Christians to shut the churches down who don't agree with their beliefs because you're so intolerant, and because you would even address it, it's called hate speech. Continue with the same theme with the LGBT. They've with Obama, they transformed the White House bathrooms to cater to this group as well. So they have a bathroom where anyone can go into it. So it doesn't matter if you're male or female. If you're confused on what your real sexual identity is, they've opened and changed a bathroom there in the White House and the executive. And so what Obama's really doing, he's calling evil good and good evil. So he has fundamentally changed the way America has gone. As he said on the night that he was inaugurated back in 2009, he has done that. He's taken America so far down the path, and again, he will attack Christianity, but he'll defend Islam. Same thing with these LGBT rights activist people. So here's what's going to happen pretty soon, because as they set the agenda, pretty soon, the rest of the nation's going to send their kids to public restrooms with some individual of the opposite sex or some who think that they should be a different gender. So they're just trying to, dumb people down. So President Barack Obama's staff and visitors now have the option of a gender-neutral restroom. And so it's just, you're starting to see this agenda, the homosexual agenda, take full force. And it's going to get worse in these last days. Going back to the issue that we dealt with the other week with the Iran deal, bringing it closer to a nuclear war, if there's ever a sign of a foreign policy establishment, here's what you're going to see. And again, that deal was actually unsigned, so it leaves a lot of wiggle room for Iran. But two former secretaries of state and foreign policy icons, Henry Kissinger and George Shultz, joined forces in pointing out the dangers Obama is courting with this particular deal. So Obama thinks, and he's trying to give Iran credit in having the best intentions, that they're not going to do that. But it's willful ignorance. This is what they've been planning on doing from day one, in developing a nuclear weapon to wipe Israel out, and also to attack the great Satan, which is America. And speaking of Iran, I don't know how you can skirt away and trying to give Iran the best intentions, but here's the other report that came out this week as well, that Iran has been helping Hamas and Hezbollah building a fleet of suicide drones. So they're building these explosive fleets, so-called suicide kamikaze drones, while providing the know-how how to assemble these new weapons to its terrorist allies, Hamas and Hezbollah. They're funding them. They're providing them all the military arsenal that they need. And this was done by a report commissioned by the U.S. Army. So you're starting to see more of these things develop, some things that you're not even paying attention to, the news media. For us, it's exciting. It's interesting times. It's going to get worse. So we need to be ready. We need to be prayerful. Be in the Word. Know what the Word says. Keep looking to Jesus as the author and finisher of our faith. Don't let these things distract you either, So we need to be equipped, because there may be a shutting down of churches where churches might have to go underground at some point. We don't say this to put fear in people. We're just talking about reality, what may happen. So are we ready if that does happen? Because it can happen to any country. And so we say these things so you can be informed and equipped and understand what's going on in the news around us. And again, we're so blessed to have a country that we can have our freedom, to have a place that we can worship the Lord together and not be afraid of being shot at, beheaded, or thrown in jail like they are in China. So that's today's news update.